Hello everyone, welcome to another train sim video. Now I've decided to do another class 158 video. The reason for this, hang on a minute, I'll just turn off the sound here. Now the reason I've decided to do another class 158 video was because after installing the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack for the class 158, I noticed that there was something that had been fixed on the Northern trains liveried class 158. Now if you look at class 158 part 2, where I talk about the class 158 that comes with the Settle to Carlisle line, there was a bug with the headlights. Now the headlights didn't work, and so on that video I also put a fix where you can go to a forum thread, and there was you had to open up I think it was the bin file, and you had to edit the text inside a bin file and copy and replace some text over to make the headlight work. But I found that after installing the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack, that the headlights would work. So I'll show you that now anyway. So what I'm doing at the moment is setting up a quick drive scenario, was exactly the same parameters as the one I did in the video. So that was with the Portsmouth direct line from Havant to Portsmouth. It was summer, rain, and it was 11 o'clock. So at the moment I've selected the Northern Trains liveried Class 158. Now it also has SC in the bracket. Now that's to tell you that that is the version of the Class 158 that comes with the Settle to Carlisle run. Now you have the Arriva Trains version up here. Now this is the version, the latest version that comes in the Arriva Trains DMU pack, which is the most recent version of the Class 158. That is the 158 that you see in Part 4 in the Part 4 video. Now you also notice here, for example, there's a reskin of an East Midlands train. Now it has a AP there, because I believe that is part of a Armstrong Powerhouse scenario pack. But it's got SC in brackets because I think it's telling you that it's based on the model, based on that of the version of the Class 158 that was with which was from the Settle to Carlisle run. Now, if you saw part 1 video, which is the original version of the Class 158, which you can still get today, that version of the Class 158, for example, didn't have cab lights or even rain effects. So when the Settle to Carlisle version of Class 158 came out, a lot of repainters and reskinners used that version as a template because of the fact that it had cab lights and also the fact that it had the rain effects. So it was, so for scenario makers and things like that, or for repainters, the best version to use. A lot of repainters and reskinners now are actually starting to use this version, which is the latest version, reskins, because we've also got things like instrument lights, and it's almost, it's the latest version, so they tend to be using that one now. So if you go, for example, to a website and you look at the latest repaints for a Class 158, they will normally tell you that you require the Class 158 from the Arriva Trains pack to use as a template, so to speak. So anyway, so I'll go back to the Northern Trains, which is the one that we're going to use. So what I'll do is we'll start this scenario off. I'll also add the sound back now, otherwise it would be a bit pointless. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the fact that the headlights work. I'm just going to see if there's any other changes that Armstrong Powerhouse has done in the train since also, since the sound pack was added. Obviously the sounds will be different. So here we are inside the cab. So obviously the sounds are a little bit different now because they're the Armstrong Powerhouse sounds. Now nothing else has really changed. The cab lights still work in this version. There's still rain effects. Now I believe there's a buzzer now. So when the driver buzzes you, you can buzz him back by pressing the end key. And I don't think anything else has really changed. For example, everyone is still kind of doing this thing where they're sitting on each other's laps, etc. Obviously the doors still open the same, although that's not really anything to do with Armstrong Powerhouse, that's more to do with the model itself. But what I will also do is I'm going to do the same test I did with the others, and that is to accelerate to 60 and to brake, just to see in case, you know, just in case Armstrong Powerhouse have changed the physics as well, because I mean, who knows, might have done. Let's try that. Let's accelerate up to 60. Actually, show you the other thing first. Was the most important thing, and that was the fact about the headlights. Now, originally, I would press this and nothing would happen, but now you can see there's headlights there. The tail lights worked originally, but when you selected the headlights, there was no headlights. So yeah, so it does seem that installing the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack kind of fixed that. Not sure why or how, but maybe it's because they kind of had that fix themselves, maybe. Yeah, so anyway, what we'll do is now is we'll do the acceleration test. So I'll accelerate up to 60 and then I'll put the brakes on and see what happens. As you can tell, the sound is different now. So in the original video, plus the part 1 and part 2 video, class 158 physics were basically the same. They weren't changed. In part 3 and 4, those class 158s, the physics was changed. So in this version, what should happen is that when we get to about 50 miles per hour, we should be just going across the level crossing at Bedhampton. So we're literally just about to go through the station when we hit 50. So in the original Class 158 and the Class 158 from Settle to Carlisle, that is what happened. It got to 50 just as we got to the platform. So there you go, 50 miles an hour. So yeah, that doesn't seem to have changed at all. Now, once we get to 60, I'll put the brake, I'll go to idle and then put the brake on. And then we'll see where we stop. You can always look back at the original videos for reference. Well, we're almost up to 60 now. I'll put the brake on 100. See where we stop. Now this locomotive, well, this DMU set before the sound pack was added, would stop literally just after this bridge that's coming up now. But yeah, I mean, compared to the other two, it does seem to have stopped a little bit shorter, but that could have just been because when I'm accelerating up to 100% and then applying the brakes, the time it takes me to apply the brakes, you know, if I apply this like a second later or half a second later, will have an impact. But overall, I don't think much has changed, or if anything has changed really on this version. Oh, I'm not sure what that is there, that black square. But anyway, what I'll also do is I'm just going to experiment with the other 158. So I'm going to go back to quick drive, go back here. Now this is have a look at this one. Now this is an Armstrong Powerhouse Repaint Reskin. I also want to just check, see if the reskin, if the physics on that reskin are any different. I'll test that out while I'm here. So this reskin is also based on this same version, so in theory everything should be the same. Cab lights, no instrument lights, and there's no clock. So I know straight away there's no clock in instrument lights because there's rain effects. I know that this is the Settle to Carlisle version. The original one even now, still doesn't have rain effects. And none of this works, no cab lights or anything. So let's do the same test again. Let's go up to 60 and then see what happens. I think it should be exactly the same, to be honest, but I just thought I'd try it. See, there's the headlights. Yeah, this is the Portsmouth Direct Line add-on scenery. It's quite an old scenery pack now, but it's okay. If you go onto Steam Workshop, there are actually updated versions of that third parties have done. For example, I believe there's a version of this now which has different track textures and different textures for the trees and things. But yeah, look, as you see, 50 miles an hour, just like in the original version. So yeah, that's just the same. Go back in the cab. But yeah, there are updated versions of Portsmouth Direct Liners now as well that you can download in the workshop. For example, this version doesn't have the banked curves, which came in later versions of Train Simulator, whereas the updated version, they've added the banked curves. The train kind of banks around corners and things. Right, we're almost up to 60. Right, let's see where this stops. Now, once again, this should literally just go past that bridge, and then we will be stopped. There you go. Right then, there you go. What I'm also going to do is, while I'm here, is I'm just going to show you the difference, once again, between this version of the 158 compared to the one that is with, which is the Manchester to Liverpool version. Now, the Manchester to Liverpool version is in a different place. Go through here. Yeah, you got the example. You got most of them are all located in a Class 158 Sprinter folder, whereas the Manchester to Liverpool one is actually found in a different place entirely. Let's try and find it. There you go. It's here under Class 158 DMU. So you select that one, and you can see there's DMU Regional Railways. So let's just start that one up. I'll just go through again the physics in case you don't want to look at the previous videos. But just to show you, this is the version which has the best acceleration and also the best braking. So have a look. So if we look here, now on this version as well, you have a working clock, which the other one didn't have. The Delta Carlisle one didn't have the working clock. And we've also got instrument lights, which the other one didn't have. What else was there? Just to go through again, and also, for example, the yeah, there was still the issue with the DAP thing. But yeah, apart from that, but it was the physics that had changed the most. So what I'm going to do, and also this had changed because now it had, instead of numbers, it had service and steps and things. But apart from that, right then. So what we'll do is we'll just come off here, put this on, and you get that thing now as well, which you don't have on the other one. But anyway, let's have a look at the acceleration again. Now this is the version which to me has the best acceleration and deceleration. So let's go. Now don't forget, when we get to Bedhampton, on the other Class 158 we were travelling at 50 miles per hour. And also the headlights display differently on this version as well. On the others you get kind of like, you can see that there's headlights there, but on this they're blank. Which is really strange. But anyway, let's have a look at this. So here we are now accelerating. And don't forget, 50 miles an hour is when we get to Bedhampton Station. 50 miles an hour. Right. As you can see, we're at 50 miles an hour already, and it was here when we reached 50 before. So already we're going faster at this point than we were before. So once we're at 60, I'll put the brakes on. For a wall. Just get back in the cab. Right, once we get to 60, dunk, dunk. Right, here we go. Let's see where we stop. There, see, we're not even going to probably make the first bridge. Yeah. Whereas the other one stopped way over there. But yeah, so there. Anyway, so this is that was the Liverpool to Manchester version that I'm in now. As you can see, there's a difference in the physics on this one. And your Eva train also had different physics compared to this one, so you know, crazy. But yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you the video, you know, with the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack and the fact that it sort of helps fix the headlights on one of the Class 158s anyway. So hopefully you'll find that video useful. Leave any comments, please subscribe. I do post videos quite often now, Chain Sim. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.